How's it going, guys? Cody, we're back again. We're dropping yet another video. Right, guys, as you can see from the title of the video, this video is about dirty rapist Wendell Baker. Now, Wendell Baker raped a woman, went on to deny it, got sent to prison, overwhelming evidence against him, deny. The parole board has seen fit to release this man, even though he's still in denial that he did this. This is a story on the BBC News website, guys. Link in the description below, like you always do. This story, angers me because there are prisoners that are IPP'd off, imprisoned for the public protection, right? That were sentenced to 18 months, right, and have done 7 years, 8 years, 11 years, right, for stealing coats or bikes or whatever the case may be, right, pulling a knife on somebody, and they've got no release date. They're lost in the system. They come up for an oral hearing or a paper panel before the parole board, and they don't get released, right? And then this guy who raped someone, is getting released. I'm going to read the story, guys. It's only short. I'm very interested to know what your thoughts are on the story. I'll put a link in the description below, like I always do. Headline reads, Wendell Baker, attempt to block release of rapist denied. Wendell Baker, you can see at the start, he was jailed for life in 2013 after attacking 66-year-old Hazel and locking her in a cupboard. An attempt to block the release of a man convicted of beating and raping a pensioner has been rejected by the parole board. Wendell Baker was given a life sentence in 2013 for attacking 66-year-old Hazel and locking her in a cupboard. The parole board announced last month Baker was suitable for release. Following a hearing in April, Justice Secretary Robert Buckland asked the board to reconsider Baker's release as it was irrational. Despite challenging the release, Mr. Buckland's officials did not take part in a parole hearing to argue why he should remain locked up, the board said. Baker, 63, became eligible for release on the 15th of March after serving 8.5 years of a life term for attacking Miss Backwell at her East London home. Mrs. Backwell was beaten, raped and locked in a cupboard in 1997. She died 5 years later. Baker was convicted in 2013 at a second trial, made possible by changes to double jeopardy laws, which having been acquitted in 1999 when a judge wrongly excluded vital DNA evidence. Her son David and daughter-in-law Margaret said they were disgusted at the refusal to stop Baker being let out. It's disgraceful and beyond belief, Mrs. Backwell told BBC News. The Backwells were never informed about Baker's hearing in April and had no chance to contribute to it, they said. They learned of the decision to release the prisoner last month from a newspaper reporter. Not irrational. Retired High Court Judge Sir John Saunders, who conducted the parole review, said, although Baker committed a very serious offence which he continues to deny, the law is clear that such denial in itself does not mean it was irrational to direct his release per se. He added that the Ministry of Justice MOJ official had not objected to the views of prison experts who concluded that Baker had met their release test. If the applicant, in brackets the Justice Secretary, disagrees with the evidence of the professionals and considers that the test is not met, then it would have been helpful if he was represented at the hearing or provided written representation setting out his concerns, he said. Though released from prison, Baker will be on licence for the rest of his life, an MOJ spokesman has said. Now, the thing is, ordinarily, right, I would be like, you know what? Victims of crimes shouldn't have any bearing on someone being released, right, on their parole board hearings, right? But when it comes to paedophiles, rapists, child murderers, things like that, right, that should go out the window for me, very much so. Now, this guy, guys, like I said, dirty fucking rapist, 1997, and he wasn't charged, he wasn't convicted until 2013. It sounded like he was acquitted at his first trial or hung jury. No, sorry, he must have been acquitted. Got done on a double jeopardy law, and then bam, they've got him because vital DNA evidence, right? So the family, the Backwell family, had to wait 5 years after. So what? 97, 2002. Mrs. Backwell sadly and tragically passed away. And God bless her, may she rest in peace. But like I've said, this guy, this scumbag, and just denied it, right? Like I said, in America, there seems to be a lot of like people that are not guilty that have been found guilty, mistaken identities, whatever the case may be. In other words, they get the wrong person for the crime. Overwhelming, right, evidence against this guy, right? Carried on to deny it. Right? Is it arrogance? Is it, why do these sex offenders, right, nonce, paedophiles, right, why do they think that they don't see any error of what they've done? No. I don't know if it's arrogance, if they think they're above the law. I'm not quite sure. But extremely dangerous individual. Could change his name and go, well, he can't go under the radar in the sense of like probation and MAPA and multi-agency public protection arrangements and things like that. But dangerous individual. Now, right, wow, whoopie-doo, he's on life license. If he plays the game, he'll stay out of prison. For me, honestly, 4 things you don't want to be in prison: grass, child murderer, paedophile, or a rapist. 4 things that are just despised in the prison system. Just insult to injury for the family. They had to wait for justice, and then they wasn't even told. So they wasn't even able to make representations to object his release. The Parole Board also saw fit to release London taxi driver John Warboys before there was an absolute uproar and outcrying from the public, and that was then overturned. And John Warboys was then later charged with I think another 100 offences, or he was suspected to have been behind another 100 attacks on women, rapes, indecent assaults, etc. He used to have rape kits in his car, this John Warboys, and the Parole Board saw fit to release him. He never got out. But what does this say of our society and the Parole Board as a whole? What you've got prisoners that are lost in the system, these IPP prisoners that are lost in the system, and then you've got rapists that are walking free. What message does that send? Honestly, it infuriates me on a massive scale. Unbelievable, guys. Let me know what you think, guys. Link in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe. Cody out.